All right, I see our participant count is going up. So people are joining us. Welcome, welcome. Awesome. All right, well, I'm going to get us started. Welcome everyone to the Association of Independent Maryland and DC Schools College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. Each will have 6 minutes to share more about their institution, but we'll be around for the entire session to answer your questions. My name is Chelsea and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you, but you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions at any time. This is one of many sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/aids. And now I'd like to turn over to our first presenter, and that's going to be the University of Aberdeen.
Hi there, everyone. So I'll just quickly introduce myself. My name is Frances McBean, and I'm the International Recruitment Officer for the University of Aberdeen. So I will just get the PowerPoint started here for you. So first of all, just to let you know where we're located in the northeast of Scotland. A lot of people, when they think about Scotland, and particularly here Aberdeen, I think everyone thinks it is the very top of Scotland. But as you can see from the wee image here on the left, there is a lot more to Scotland above Aberdeen. So we're about 2.5 hours drive from Edinburgh and maybe about 3 hours from Glasgow. So we have an international airport in the sort of about 10 minutes drive from the city centre, which has direct flights to London and Amsterdam. And we also have a train station in the heart of the city centre as well. We were founded in 1495, so we are one of the ancient universities, and we have about 15,000 students. So we would be classified as a medium-sized university within Scotland. Our student body is made up of about 130 nationalities, so it's a very diverse culture on campus, but you also notice it in the city as well. We have about 350 degree programmes, and we've just popped in a couple of our rankings and sort of accolades there just to highlight a few points there. So we're the top 20 universities in the UK for the Guardian University Guide, and we're the third safest city in the UK. Scotland in general is a very safe place, but Aberdeen, because it's not a massive city, you do feel it's almost just like a big town. So it is a very safe place to live and be a young person. In terms of the courses on offer, we have 12 schools within the University of Aberdeen, and these obviously house our 350 degrees. So there's really something for everyone. Our courses that are very popular are things like law, medicine, our engineering degrees, but we also have a lot of art-based subjects as well. So the social sciences, divinity, history and philosophy, and the language and literature programs are very popular as well. So there really is something for everyone. You can easily have a wee look at our prospectus online, and it will give you all of the details into every course that we have on offer. The university has sort of two campuses. The main campus, though, for the majority of our degrees is located in the historic district of Old Aberdeen. But if you were to choose a medical science degree, then you would be based up at Aberdeen Royal Infirmary. So this is the city's hospital, and our medical science degrees are actually taught in the actual hospital buildings and research institutes themselves. We also have a modern library, which has recently been built in 2012. So although we are one of the ancient universities, and you will see a lot of old stone buildings, sort of cathedral-like buildings, we do obviously have modern facilities as well. These are also mirrored, the modern facilities, in our sports village, which is just located a short walk from the main campus. So just cross the road, 2-minute walk, and you have access to amazing Olympic standard swimming pool, diving board area, which you can see in the background of this slide. We also have indoor and outdoor athletic tracks, football areas, table tennis, trampolining, a specialist gym area. So pretty much everything you can think of, you can have access to as a student, and you can get this for quite cheap. So the membership starts at about £16 per month for students. When you compare this to other private gyms within the city, you will notice it's certainly a lot cheaper at the university's sports facilities. In terms of our accommodation, we have accommodation ranging from £90 up to £150 per week. We offer catered and self-catered. All bedrooms are private, so you never share a bedroom, you'll have your own private bedroom space. And there is the option of ensuite accommodation, but we do also obviously have the shared the shared bathroom facilities as well. We offer quiet and alcohol-free blocks. We also have a central building which houses the restaurant for catered students. There's socialising spaces, and there's also a small convenience store as well. There's regular social activities and events which take place. A lot of them happen in the first week of term to get students settled in to their life in Aberdeen and also their life at the university. And we also have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week security and staff available. So no matter what you need them for, there will always be people there. In terms of our entry requirements for undergraduate degrees, these are listed here. I won't read all of them, but you can just have a wee quick look there at what we would be looking for. But you can again have a look online and these will appear very easily to find on our website. In terms of test optional or terms of testing, we are test optional for 2022 and this will be reviewed for 2023. You can apply either via UCAS or Common App, just whichever one you prefer. And we do accept financial aid. In terms of tuition fees, these range from about £17,000 up to £41,000 per year. But we do have a lot of scholarships available for students as well. And I've just highlighted one of them there, which is our North American Undergraduate Scholarship and Excellence Award. And this is £2,000 for each year of study at undergrad. So just quickly to finish up, we highlight the city. We have a population of about 200,000 people. We are milder than you might think. In the winter, average temperature is about 4 degrees Celsius, and in the summer, 18 degrees. Plenty of restaurants, cafes, bars, everything you would expect a city to have. And here are just some of the highlights that I always like to show. So we obviously have 260 castles in Aberdeenshire, so there's a lot that you can do. 130 miles of coastline and beaches, plenty of travel as well available around the city and surrounding areas. And here's my email address. So if you do have any questions, then please feel free to get in touch with me. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Next up, we have the University of British Columbia.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Weber. I'm the University of British Columbia's regional representative here in the northeast of the US. I'm actually based in New York, and my pronouns are he, him. Now, before I get started, I'd like to first respectfully acknowledge the traditions and customs of the Syilx Okanagan people on whose territory our Okanagan campus is situated. And I'd like to acknowledge that UBC's Vancouver campus is located on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam people. We do land acknowledgements a lot at UBC as a way to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and improving our own understandings of local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. So if you haven't been acquainted with the original caretakers of the lands on which you're situated, I encourage you to learn a little more, because these have been places of living and learning since long before our institutions have been around. Now, if we're talking about UBC specifically, I think there's three main things to know, and that's the academic excellence, ideal locations, and active learning opportunities you can find. And if we start out with academic excellence, this is the hard one to talk about because we tend to want to quantify things and throw rankings and numbers in there. And we all know we don't make decisions based entirely on rankings, right? So if it does help you, yes, we're a top 40 institution in the world. We have a number of departments among the top 20 worldwide. That's all well and good, but I'm more interested in a few other aspects of who we are. For instance, we're considered a world leader in terms of combating climate change and sustainability. So if solving these problems are interesting to you, that this might be a good fit. Another very important fact about who we are is that we're the most international university in North America with over 18,000 international students from 166 countries. So multicultural diversity and sustainability, they're just in our DNA as an institution. But let's move on to more tangible things like location. Now, before I even talk about UBC specifically, let's take a second to talk about Canada. We're the #1 country in the world for quality of life. We're a country that's very welcoming and inclusive, really prioritize healthcare, both physical and mental, and we prioritize higher education. In fact, our government invests more in our universities than almost any other country in the world, meaning you get very high quality institutions for a lower cost. And if you're an international student and you graduate from a Canadian institution, you get a 3-year work permit where you can stay in the country, use those connections you've made, those resources you've had access to really start your career. Now, at UBC specifically, we do have 2 campuses. Now, this is the same degree, it's the same university, but very different experiences. So let's talk about those. Our Okanagan campus is a mid-sized campus of about 10,000 undergraduate students. As you can see, we're surrounded by nature, so we definitely have that campus feel, but we're about 20 minutes from downtown Kelowna by bus. What you can expect here is a close-knit environment, smaller classes, you bump into people you know all the time, that kind of thing. Now, if you get on a flight for an hour, you'll get to the city of Vancouver. Now, here's where we have our Vancouver campus. This is a campus of 46,000 undergrads. It's a big place in a big city. Now, this campus is also surrounded by nature. It's about 25 minutes from downtown Vancouver. So you definitely have that city feel and that campus feel. Now, I was a student on the Vancouver campus once upon a time, and I never felt overwhelmed by the numbers. It wasn't like me in a sea of people, but more me and my communities among all the other communities on campus. And on that note, let's talk about active learning. That's the last thing I said I'd tell you about. Now, there are many ways to get involved in active learning at UBC. One of these is research at the undergraduate level. Now, you don't even have to do research in the area you're majoring in. And that's because we have over $500 million in research funding every year. We have thousands of projects going on, and we're very big fans of undergraduate students getting involved in research. Or maybe you're thinking more along the lines of work experience. And yes, you can work in Canada on a study permit, but what I want to talk about is co-op. Now, if you're not familiar with cooperative education, that's a way of doing your work experience where you alternate a semester of study with a semester of work. So you don't have to juggle too much at any one time. Now, all co-op positions are paid, they're relevant to what you're studying, they're mentored by someone in the field. And so 90% of our co-op students get a job offer within a month of graduating. And we have thousands of co-op students every year in all kinds of majors, and they're getting jobs in the US and Canada, around the world, and NGOs and governments, tech companies, banking, you name it. But maybe this is all very intense. I'm telling you about research and work, and you just want to have some fun. So yes, we have more varsity titles than anyone else in Canada. We also have the largest intramural sports program in Canada. We also have hundreds of student-run clubs, from academic to social justice oriented, just fun ones like ski and snowboard clubs. And this is the great way to form communities that make a large experience feel smaller. And if going to Canada isn't international enough, we have over 200 study abroad partners in about 45 different countries. So at this point, we've talked about the academic excellence of an institution with over 260 majors, the ideal locations with 2 very different campuses, and the active learning opportunities that will give you everything you're looking for to make this the right fit. And all this with a friendly Canadian price tag. Now, I don't have to tell you how to find us on social media. You're younger than me, you know how to do that. So at this point, I'm going to stop talking and let the next university take over.
Thanks so much. Next up, we have Franklin University.
Hi, everyone. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. I'll go ahead and share my screen here. There we go. My name is Katie Carter, and I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions for Franklin University, Switzerland. I'm also a regional rep located here in the United States. First, I'd like to start with letting you know a little bit about Franklin. So we are a small, private American university located in Lugano, Switzerland. I encourage you to research some of the American universities abroad. This is the opportunity for students to study, receive an American degree fully accredited, but in an opportunity within Europe. So you'll see here, kind of on our main view of campus, we are located in the beautiful city of Lugano, which sits about 30 miles north of Milan. So this is kind of a beautiful spot of Switzerland because it's right on the Italian border. It's the one section in Switzerland where they speak Italian. The architecture is Italian, the food is Italian, the weather is more Mediterranean. So it's really nice, a nice blend between that Swiss Germanic kind of feel with a more Italian fun flair to it. So our campus is around 400 students studying from all over the world. We have a very diverse campus. We have typically between 55 to 60 different nationalities represented on campus at any given point, around 50 to 55% coming from the United States. We are dually accredited. So one of the great things about that is our students receive both a US degree and a Swiss degree. So if you want to return to the United States for work, or for continuing your studies for graduate work or law school, that kind of thing, that US degree will hold as part of the accredited middle states. Otherwise, if you'd like to stay and work either within Switzerland or Europe, having this Swiss degree really helps with getting a work visa. On campus, our students speak English. Everything is taught in English. It is, again, very much an American curriculum with the opportunity to study either 3 years or 4 years. So we do have a 3-year expedited program kind of to stay in competition with the UK schools. But this offers the opportunity for those students who are taking advantage of AP or IB credits to graduate a year early if they choose to do so. Otherwise, a lot of our students will double major or tack on a minor as well. We have a very diverse faculty from all over the world. One of the things I love most about Franklin is kind of what we call the Franklin family. I mean, it is such a unique experience to be studying in a location like this, but also the academics and our academic travel, which I'll talk more about, is really a unique experience that makes you very marketable upon graduation. And I think helps bind together our graduates as part of our alumni network as well. So we have over 25 different majors to choose from. A lot of these are grounded in the humanities. You'll know kind of our most popular majors are business, international economics, finance. These are all separate majors. We also have really seen a high amount of students who are looking into our social justice and sustainability major, as well as environmental science, where they're looking at the ways in which Europe and specifically Switzerland are helping in terms of climate change and social justice on a global scale. Communications, international relations continue to be a popular major for us as well. We have partnerships with universities across the United States for studying abroad. So if you're not quite sure if you want to study for a full 4 years, you can always visit us for a semester or for a gap year. We also have a new partnership with Emerson College in Boston, where you can actually study for the first 2 years at Franklin, getting an international kind of experience, and then complete your studies for your bachelor's degree at Emerson with an Emerson bachelor's degree program. So I would encourage you to check out information on that. One of the really signature programs that we offer at Franklin that is unique to any other university is that our founders wanted our students to learn through travel. So as part of the curriculum, our students travel for 2 weeks every semester. This is called academic travel. And the idea is you sign up for your classes, just like you normally would, a 3-credit bearing course, and one of them will be a subject rooted to a country. So say you're studying environmental science, the study of glaciers in Iceland. You would meet with your class professor every week, just like normal. And you would learn about the Icelandic people, the ecosystem of living on an island, the environment, the glaciers. And then in the months of October and March, the whole campus shuts down and everyone goes to the respective country that they've been learning about. So for this, they would fly into Reykjavik with their professor in class. They would travel across the entire country. For that one, they do a lot of camping, staying at local universities, and they travel across the entire country, studying the glaciers, learning more about the environment. And then they come back and do a reflection piece. Meanwhile, other classes are going to places like London and Prague and Thailand and South Africa. It is truly a global program in which our students are leaving campus for 2 weeks with their class and professor, studying, learning on a global perspective, and taking away kind of the acknowledgement of different cultures. Even if they're visiting cities like Rome or Milan or Paris that are going to be very easy destinations for our students to travel to personally, this has an academic spin on it. So they're learning new things. Ultimately, it is what we think makes our students very marketable. If you have any more questions, I'm happy to put my information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, next up we have University of Exeter.
Hi, everyone. How are you? My name is Adriana Caton. I am speaking to you from Exeter in the southwest of England. Maybe you've never heard of Exeter before. You probably, when you think of England, you think of London or Manchester or Liverpool. Exeter is in this, like I said, in the southwest of England. We have two main campuses. One is, as you see here in the photo, Streatham campus is located in the city of Exeter. And if you look at the map at the bottom, you can see that the whole entire area is Devon and Cornwall. And we have Exeter, that sits in Devon, and our Penryn campus sits in the county of Cornwall, which is a little bit further south. So like I said, this is our main campus. So this is where the main buildings are, the forum, the student guild, most of the student accommodations in the city. And this is the other campus, St. Luke's campus, where we have the School of Education and the School of Medicine and Health. This is our Cornwall campus. And it's, like I said, it sits at the very tip of the south of England. And it's a very special place to us as a community because it holds a few very important institutes and schools. So the Cambridge School of Mines, which makes Exeter the #1 program for mining engineering in the world, and also the Institute of Environment and Sustainability, which 5 of our main top academics have recently gone to the COP26 conference, which they discuss climate change that influence governments and influence corporations across the world. That's the most number of academics than any other university in the world, more than Oxford or Cambridge or Harvard. So we are very known within the UK as a green university. We are really invested in sustainability, and a lot of our 98% of our research is world leading in this area. We even won in 2019 the Queen's Anniversary Prize for the impact that the research had on plastic solutions. So if you're interested in coming to England and studying a 3-year degree in any kind of environmental sciences or renewable energy, definitely keep Exeter in mind. Also, we have a couple stats here. We are the 46th most international university in the world, friendliest city in England, and also safest, one always top 10 voted as the safest city in England, and overall experience top 10 amongst the students, and also is the second voted second for satisfaction on student accommodation. This is the list of our main subject areas for undergraduate degrees. And as I mentioned in a previous slide, the England, different from Scotland, from the other 2 Scottish universities that are here tonight, we have 3-year undergraduate degrees. So we accept IB curriculums, AP curriculums, and also honors classes at Exeter. So if you get in touch with me if you're not sure if your qualifications allow you to start at year 1. And then we can talk about your options as well regarding the way that the education system works within England. These are some of the courses that we currently have Americans studying. We have around 260 total Americans currently on the campus. And I like to highlight that Exeter is one of the only English universities that has flexible combined honors. That means that it's almost like a liberal arts degree in the US. So you can actually combine 2 subjects and almost study one as like a 30-70 or 60-40, like a major and a minor. We also, this is some, more few things that I like you to remember about Exeter. We're ranked top 150 in the world, both in the Times Higher Education and QS. We're top 10 in major UK league tables. We are part of the Russell Group. As I mentioned, we are very highly regarded for research. So we are equivalent, the Russell Group is equivalent to the Ivy League in the US. We have very high completion rates and employment rates. We were the former Sports University of the Year by and we're constantly top 10 in the UK for sports. So you don't have to be an athlete to come to Exeter. You can start out a new sport that you never played before, or you can play at a very high level. We also have clubs and societies that you can get involved with, more than 250 clubs and society, and a career zone that will stay with you for all your life. We are, about 95% of our students are involved in some sort of internship or work placement throughout their studies. And like I said, here's some student numbers from the US. Undergraduates, we have about 90 undergraduate students at the moment, and a total of 260. International students from all over the globe, more than 150 countries. We have close to 7,000 out of about 27,000 students total at University of Exeter between the three campuses. And what I love to share with people, and I wish I could share more, is how the quality of life, again, down here, the nature spots, the green spaces. Here are some of my personal photos that I like to share from the city of Exeter, the cathedral, the quay, and the beaches around the area. I have a neighbor who's Australian that goes surfing every weekend. And this is also a national park that I love called Dartmoor. Get in touch with me. My name is Adriana. You can email americas@exeter.ac.uk. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Okay, next up we have IE University.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, perfect. Hopefully you should be able to see the presentation now. My name is Cora Morrison, and I'm the Senior Manager for North America at IE University. I'm actually originally from Maryland, and I spent a total of 6 years living in Spain, and now I'm based out of our New York office here as well. We actually have 30 international offices, so I would be your main point of contact right now for any questions that you would have at IE. And this is just IE at a glance. So basically, we are an international European university. We have campuses in both Madrid and Segovia within Spain. We're considered a medium-sized private nonprofit university in Spain, and all of our programs are taught in English. We have most of our students coming in are international students. We have 75% international students with over 120 different nationalities on campus and a little over 5,000 undergraduate students in total. Our majors are career focused, and we do definitely have an experiential learning approach. So we're doing a lot of projects, a lot of case studies, a lot of discussions, presentations. We don't have general education requirements, so students go directly into the program that they're applying for, and all of our programs are accredited as well. We have really great statistics in terms of job-seeking students. 95% are employed within 6 months of graduation, and students also take advantage of the smaller class sizes. The largest classes that we usually have would be around 55 to 60 students in a classroom. I have here the tuition kind of translated over from euros to dollars right now, but tuition ranges for the single degrees for almost $26,000 a year, and for the dual degree, it's nearly $30,000 a year. And we have also over 21 different scholarships available, which I'll share a little bit more about in just a few minutes. And next, we're going to pop over to take a look at our beautiful campuses. We have a campus in Segovia, as I mentioned, and Madrid. And if you're not familiar with both of these cities, Madrid is the capital of Spain, and it's kind of right in the center of the country. And Segovia is about an hour-and-a-half drive, or 25 minutes if you go by the high-speed train outside of Madrid. So our Segovia campus was actually started, the building there, as you can see, very historic on the left side, in 1218. So there's a lot of beautiful history and architecture in the campus itself. And it's a really great place for our students to study and learn. And it's also a bit of a smaller city. So for students who are looking for more of that kind of college town, smaller campus environment, it's a really nice location for them. And of course, we have different facilities there for architecture, design, media, communications, many different things as well. And I always like to include a couple of photos of the city of Segovia itself, because I feel like, especially for me coming from the US, it was something I didn't have any idea that it could even exist basically in a city. The Roman architecture, the beautiful castles, and so many things to see in Spain, and especially in Segovia, are just kind of highlighted here. And now we're going to go over next to our Madrid campus, which is a very different type of experience. It's our urban campus. We just actually opened up this new Madrid campus in September of last year to our students. And it's a 35-story tower built with sustainability in mind. And so various different resources there for students in terms of, you can see here as well in terms of, we have a sports center, we have different halls and hubs where students can go ahead and meet and collaborate as well, and also various community zones. So I won't go into everything here, but on our website, there's a lot more information about the tower and all of the different spaces there. Next, I will share a little bit more about our studies. So we have 5 different schools at IE, and all of our programs are fully accredited with the Spanish Ministry of Education in Spain. So that means that our students can, after graduation, either continue on with a master's degree or they can come back to the US and work without a problem. And they're also recognized by various other organizations that you can see listed here as well. And then this is a list of the different bachelors that we are offering at the moment. So the majority of our programs are 4-year degrees. The only caveat to this would be architectural studies, which is a 5-year program in Spain. And, I would say also just to kind of highlight a few of them, our business administration program has a very strong focus on entrepreneurship. You can also specialize in technology or finance if you prefer. And then we also have some double degree programs with business where you can perhaps do 2 years at IE and then go to China University of Hong Kong or Peking University to complete 2 years there. Another program, which is I always like to highlight, is our Bachelor of Laws, because we have special agreements with Northwestern University in the US and, for example, King's College London in the UK, where students can do 3 years at IE, complete their LLB, and then go on, for example, to 2 years to Northwestern to complete their JD program. And our international relations program is also very popular. The curriculum was designed with the United Nations System Staff College. So there's a lot of really great opportunities there with the Staff College and our students through mentoring, different seminars, and also they are teaching part of the curriculum as well. So if anyone has any specific questions about programs, I'd be happy to share more on that later. We also have dual degree programs, so you can combine 2 programs in 5 years as well. And then we also have several pre-college activities for students who are, not ready yet to attend college, but they're looking for some different activities, and maybe they want to get a little bit of a taste of what it would be like to study at IE. So I'm also happy to share more info on that. And at IE, we also build our own paths. So these are some of the different things that our students are able to take advantage of. We have many different exchanges as well. And I see that probably my time is going to be running up soon. So I'm actually going to kind of skip forward just a slightly. I feel like this always happens. But for the admissions process, we are looking for a well-rounded profile of students. And also we are on the Common App. So there's several different stages. Since I'm running out of time, I'll go ahead and add my information in the chat, and I'd be happy to share more info further on. But thanks a lot for listening.
Thank you so much. All right, next up we have the University of St. Andrews.
All right, well, thank you very much. And I guess I am last to roll here. So let me see it so you can see my screen. There we are. So I am gonna make this pretty brief and really try to highlight some of the aspects that I think make St. Andrews unique. You can go onto our website and find a lot of the very specific information about the subjects we offer and the application process and those kind of things. But I set myself a challenge when I'm doing these to try to give you a feel for what it would be like to be in St. Andrews in 5 minutes or so. So I'm going to talk about the town and academics. Those are the 2 areas I'm going to focus on. What you see on your screen right now, and actually behind me, is both the town and the University of St. Andrews. The town of St. Andrews is 20,000 people, half of whom, 10,000, are actually students, about 2,000 graduates, 8,000 undergraduates. Located right on the North Sea, about an hour, hour and a half from Edinburgh via public transit. What really makes this opportunity unique and distinct is that the picture you see is both the town and the campus. There is no distinction between the 2. We're 600 years old, so we never kind of built one part of the town is where the university is and the other part's commercial. you're going to have residence halls next to coffee shops with a library 3 blocks down the street, and maybe your classroom building 5 blocks away. To walk from the bottom of the picture to the top of the picture takes about 15 minutes. Now, if you think about what this is like, you want to think about what kind of university you want to study at. If you like the idea of being able to walk down the 3 blocks down the street and see 10 people you know, we're a perfect option for you. If you're the kind of person who wants to go out on the weekend and have a good time and maybe not be seen and be a little bit anonymous and do your own thing, this may not be the right town for you. And I would encourage you all to think about that as you're looking at opportunities. The second thing that I think really is important to differentiate is the academic program at St. Andrews. And what's important to understand, it's about breadth and depth. The Scottish university system actually kind of fits in between the English system and the US. I think a lot of people assume, oh, the UK all has the same higher education system. We actually do not. Scotland's degrees are 4 years. In those 4 years, you gain admission to St. Andrews to study a specific degree. So if you want to do biology, wonderful. Apply for a honors degree in biology. If you want to do history, that's great too. You apply for an honors degree in history. In your first 2 years at St. Andrews, you will take the subject for which you applied to begin with, and 2 other subjects in that general area. So for example, if you're doing history, a lot of students might combine that with geography in a foreign language, or international relations, or English, something in the arts and humanities. If you're coming in biology, you would combine that with something like math or maybe computer science. Generally, and there are exceptions to this because we're a university, we always come up with exceptions. But generally, if you're studying in the arts and humanities, you will only take courses in the arts and humanities. If you're studying in the sciences, you are only going to take the sciences. So for those history majors, no more math. And for those biology majors, no more English. Although you don't have as broad of a curriculum as you might find in the US, we do find that about 40% of our students actually end up earning a degree in something other than what they gained admission for to begin with. So there is some flexibility. If it's a subject that you've taken in years 1 and 2, then you can always make it part of your single honors degree or a joint honors degree. And all of our degrees at St. Andrews actually are titled honors degrees in the 4-year part. And in years 3 and 4, you are just going to take courses in what is your degree area or your joint, 2 degree areas if you're doing a joint honors degree. Life in St. Andrews, as I mentioned, it's a small town. It's really community, 600 years old, over 150 clubs and societies, sports teams. About a third of our students actually play sports. And believe it or not, as a US student, during your freshers week, during your first year orientation week, they actually have a tryout day for sports. You can show up and try out for any sport you'd like. So if you play baseball here in the US and we don't offer baseball, but you want to try cricket, go right ahead and do it. And we basically have 3 different levels. So you'll find teams that play intercollegiate, travel around Britain playing. We will have teams that are club level, so slightly below that, and then intramural. And then finally, tradition. What you see is a picture of our pier walk. The students at the beginning of the semester, the end of the year, will put on their red academic gowns and walk out the pier. If you look closely, you'll see students actually wear their robes a little bit differently. Those that were wearing them all the way up on their shoulders are first years, and every year you move it down a little bit further. So I am going to drop in my contact details, but encourage you to visit one of our virtual sessions, contact me. and explore a little bit more of what it's like to be at St. Andrews. And I will hand it over now to Chelsea for our discussion and questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. All right, at this point, I'd like to welcome everyone back onto screen so we can hear from the presenters one more time. Okay. Wonderful. And John, if you want to stop sharing your screen for us, perfect. Thank you. Alrighty, so I'm going to ask a question and I'd like to hear from everyone again. If we have time, we'll go into the second one, but what advice would you give someone going through the search process now or sometime soon in the future? I'm going to jump back to the University of Aberdeen.
I would probably just say to give yourself as much time as you possibly can. It's regardless of where you're going to be applying to, it is a long process. But obviously, if it is going to be international or slightly further away from home, there'll be maybe a few other things that you need to take into account. So just give yourself that time and you're doing the right thing. Coming to these sorts of events nice and early is definitely the sort of right thing to do. And if you are able to come and visit, then by all means, please do. Like a lot of the universities in the UK are now kind of back open as usual. So if you are wanting to come and do a wee visit, if you can sort of get that built into holidays and you've got budget and things for it, then by all means, it's a great way to get a feel for the university. Because you might think, oh, these all sound great in a presentation, but when you come and actually visit in person, you might think, the city's too big, or I prefer more sort of everything in one place. So it's a good thing to do if you're able to. So that would probably be my piece of advice.
Awesome. Thank you for that. The University of British Columbia.
Yeah, I'd say think very, very carefully about what matters to you. I think you'll be getting pieces of advice from friends, from family, from counselors, from the internet, from all over, and everyone has something that matters to them, but maybe what matters to them doesn't matter to you. So think very clearly about what your priorities are so that you can find the right fit for you. And if I can offer some life advice, not just admissions advice, make sure your PowerPoint slides are working. I think that will really improve your presentation abilities.
Thank you. Franklin University.
I agree with what you've both said. I think it's really important for our students to consider the kind of campus that they want to be on, whether that's large or small, intimate. If you're looking to kind of have, that opportunity to live in a big city versus being on a college campus kind of feel. I think we've all kind of spoken to that today. That's kind of a general first look at maybe what you might want to consider if you're looking, especially internationally. But ultimately, looking at, I think, academics, what do they offer, especially if maybe you might want to change your major? Do they have enough different opportunities for you to kind of jump around if need be? Because most college students will change their major at some point. I think it's important to have a good range to consider going into that.
Absolutely. Thank you. University of Exeter.
I think I would first say that, if you're considering which country to go to, as you can see from here, it's very different country to country. So kind of really research the differences between, even within the UK, the differences between Scotland and England, what kind of a student experience you would have, what kind of the length of the programs. And for example, we can't really change here in England. You can't change from, once you pick your major, it's very focused. So like these things, you don't want to be surprised by. And I personally would like to speak to another student that is studying the courses that you're interested in within that university. So for example, we have on our website, you can talk to a student ambassador and ask what the experience was, and from admissions until actually being on campus. So use those resources, go on the websites and see that there's chats available. Like most of our universities will offer some kind of support and some student to student voices just to speak to each other. And like my colleague from University of Aberdeen said, if you get a chance, visit the universities. I know it's really difficult internationally, like hopping around Europe, but, you know, do a Europe trip over the summer, you know, when you're planning between your junior and your senior year, like, you know, go around and do a backpacking trip just to see, you know, what kind of environment fits you best, what kind, you know, big or small city, as everyone mentioned here. So I think, you know, visiting is really important if you can.
Thank you so much. IE University.
I feel like this has all been really excellent advice so far. If I was going to add anything, I would probably just say, you know, there's a lot of different opportunities. So of course, part of this is being organized, but I think it's a really great step that you are here and listening to all of these different international opportunities. And I hope that this will also kind of open up, or at least have you think a little bit about maybe those opportunities abroad, because I think that that also provides such an excellent kind of spin or kind of twist onto your profile also once you have graduated. That could really give you a competitive edge when you're looking for opportunities in the job market. But also just kind of keep in mind, you know, that there are many opportunities. I know you've heard from all of us today, and we all offer programs in English. And, you know, there are a ton of other universities abroad that also offer programs in English. So if that's something that you're looking for, you know, definitely do some research there, because it's a really amazing experience to live abroad in another country as well, and really opens up your viewpoints and your mindset.
Thank you so much for that. And University of St. Andrews.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you a piece of advice that I probably contractually shouldn't say because St. Andrews is a very highly ranked university. Ignore the rankings. They mean nothing. It's about what fits you best. And you need to find the place where you feel like you fit, where you feel like you can grow and expand and become the best you as possible. That's my advice.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our time today. So I want to send a big thank you to our presenters for the information you put together and for spending the time with us this evening. Thank you to our participants for being with us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We really appreciate any feedback you can provide. We encourage you to check back to the schedule, sign up for more sessions if you're interested. And you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all the other recordings at strivescan.com/AIMS. Thank you so much for being with us. Have a great evening.
Thank you.